Here I am, the bee. I'm not hiding from you. Are you hiding from me? Well, guys, I got a whole bunch of charts coming at you. I got about 15 years of charts that are loaded up. Hey, I've been drawing charts I've been drawing charts online as long as there's been an Astro.com website. And I did this with my Astro goal today. I drew up the solar noon Christmas Eve. And the reason why I did this is because the sun is in conjunct my sun today, but it also will be in conjunct it will be sextile my Mars as well. I mean, it's generally a working kind of day for me. Yep, I'm not kidding. And the big question is, what's going to happen this year? We got retrograde planets happening. We have a Mercury retrograde, and we have a Jupiter retrograde. Big players, yep. These guys are big players going on right now. This is actually retrograde as well, as long as Uranus. These are the retrogrades right here. We got Chiron, Jupiter, and Uranus, and Vesta. And it's about to happen, right? We're coming up on that full moon. That full moon Capricorn thing, right? Or full moon Cancer thing. Sorry, my fault. Sun's in Capricorn. And as you can see here, with this chart right here, look at this chart I have next to this Christmas Eve, because this is my busiest time of the year because I'm in that sixth house. Do you know the sixth house? I could tell you about stories about the sixth house and how your shadow comes at your back to give you plenty of work and hardly no slack. Yeah, it's a true thing. As you can see, I am he. I am this divine creature, yes, and I'm authority, right? Some people think I'm a little critical on their video post or whatever on YouTube. Actually not too many. Most of all the channels I follow, I generally get highlighted comments by the algorithm, right? My comments are generally highlighted, and I'm going to tell you why right now, right? It's this very reason right here. Look at this chart I have for the Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. Look where the moon is. The moon is almost where the moon is now. The moon actually, when I actually drew up the solar noon, then for the time of the solar noon at noon, 12 a.m. I tell you, it's wrong, but at 12 a.m. for 12 a.m. At the beginning of the day, right? 12 a.m. Look where the beginning of the day is, right? Gemini ascendant. It's where it is, and look where the moon is for. This is actually not the solar noon. This is wrong, but it actually puts together where it is. Sorry, I did this on my phone, and the type is small, so my mistake. And I don't know why I did that. 12 a.m. It should be 12 p.m. But it's a Mercury retrograde, so ho hum. But that's going to be leaving us soon. But look where we are here for this chart, because there's this big thing. How much of a silver lining will happen with this? Because some astrologers out there think there's going to be a silver lining for this full moon Cancer, and we're going to have all kinds of retrograde planets for this full moon. We're going to have all kinds of retrograde planets for this full moon. And when you look at this tsunami right here, and the time of the earthquake that created the tsunami on the Boxing Day tsunami, which is the 26th. Remember, the 26th is a very important day for me because it's the day that I count as my solar day, right? This is actually, it happens, it's just like a solar return, right? When that sun is in aspect to, it's probably there right now. The sun is probably right around where my it's probably perfectly in conjunct to my natal sun right now. Because as you know, in one day, in 24 hours, in about 12 hours time, so at about probably, to be quite honest with you, probably 10 a.m., probably around there this morning, the sun would have been perfectly in conjunct to my sun. And sextile, we're probably moving into that sextile with my Mars, right? So when we go here and we look at this, Indian earthquake ocean. Let's see how close God is to me, because when a person is undergoing a Neptune transit moon, the Divine Mother and the Divine Father are very close to them, right? It's extremely close. Like in your life, the Divine Mother and Divine Father are closer to you during the transit of Neptune to your natal moon than you're probably ever going to get, right? And I have a Jupiter. I have a Jupiter in Leo with Sun in Leo. Let's bring out the chart here. But look at this. Look at this. I want to show you this. My ascendant is at 1 degree 55 minutes Gemini. Let's look at the Mars. Mars is there opposed my ascendant. Venus is opposed my ascendant. But trine my natal Jupiter, and Mercury is perfectly trine my natal Jupiter. Moon is absolutely squared my natal moon, and the Sun is in conjunct, just 2 degrees out, right? 2 degrees out, because my Sun is 2 degrees 33 minutes Leo, right? I am he, right? I am the guy. I am the guy that's not here to decide, right? And people wonder why I got fire in my belly. Well, when you got as much fire in your chart as I have, my chart is nothing but steam. I have very little earth in my chart, and it's for one thing, Jesus said he had, what kind of guy Jesus was, eh? Well, what kind of guy was Christ? He was the guy who said, silver and gold I have none, but I do absolutely have the kingdom of heaven. And that's how it is with me. When you look at my chart right here, zoom it up for you. Look at me. I'm 1 minute 55 degrees Gemini. My Mercury is in a water house that's ruled by Venus. So that's my self-worth. This is my Mercury. But my dominant planets are ego-driven, right? With Sun and Jupiter conjunct, and Jupiter being in the strongest place for Jupiter to be in this house of Leo, and the Sun being in the strongest place is supposed to be out of the entire year. That's when I'm born. I am going to be solar ego driven. My chart says it, especially with the trine to Saturn in the placement of the Sun. Saturn in Aries at 12 degrees. Look how clever the Father is with me. My Saturn is in retrograde, right? It's all reincarnation, right? It's there. And look at the trine, right? Only minutes out, right? And every single chart that I will pull up to you, I will show you how my soul interlocks with the chart that the Father and only the Father brings to me, right? I'm not trolling anyone. I'm the Sun, right? The planets troll me, right? This is how it works. I mean, if you're the Sun, because Saturn in the place of Aries, Saturn ruling, the moon, but Saturn ruling my mortal structure in the place of the Sun, and that's what my astrologer used to tell me all the time. He says, why do you keep on worrying about or being concerned about what this planet is doing, what that planet is doing, when you're the Sun? And this guy, I mean, he was getting paid $400 an hour, and he absolutely made practicing astrology a craft that you could practice by law in a court, right? This is what he did, and he fostered my astrology instruction for 30 years of my life. And now he's gone, right? I think he was something like 90 odd years old. Sorry, I'm having some jasmine green tea. It's that type of day. So it's Christmas Eve, and I am working hardest. I mean, I'm just being like Santa, as my chart says. My chart actually says I'm a younger version of Santa Claus. And I will be bringing all these charts to show you that A, I don't troll anyone, and B, when you look at my chart, you will see that what kind of chart do I have? I mean, my chart absolutely says it's interpreted. He did it his way. That's exactly. And who does it his way? The Sun does. When I was in the vehicle with this gentleman named Sterling, and he was giving me all this astrological knowledge and what have you, one of the first questions he asked me, So, Johnny Chilliwack, what do you have? And you know what I replied to him? I replied to him, I have a solar system. And he said, Amen. You got that question absolutely right. And according to Dane Rudier, if you go into the astrological houses, the spectrum of individual experiences, you will see that in the sixth house, when you read that sixth house chapter, it's all about the shadow coming to the gentleman, coming to the soul that's going through the tunnel, right? Because we're tunneling, right? We're tunneling to the seventh house, right? To the sixth house. We move into that seventh house of relationships right after we get done with that solar sixth house. Capricorn's here, and it's time for me to, be the taskmaster, right? Because my solar sixth house is Capricorn, but also my solar sixth house is my natal eighth house and ninth house, because it's part of the sky. And then look where my midhaven is. Look where midhaven is, and look where Pluto is going to be. Look where Pluto is. Look where Pluto is, right? When we go looking for Pluto, look where he is. He's at 29 degrees Capricorn, right? He's getting ready to cross my midhaven, right? My house of Aquarius and Capricorn, right? The 10th house. Isn't it so interesting how the Father works? I tell you, I am He. I am me. I am everything. I am the sun. I am 99% of your light. In the physical voice that I'm coming to you today, right? I've been hiding out here back all these walls of rock in the Canadian Rockies, just like the book of Revelation said you would find me. The man with the clouds. That's me. The young boy in the wilderness, preparing to lead the world with an iron rod. That's me. I am Ra. That's who I am. With my chart, I'm nobody else. I am the universal man. It's a true thing. Okay, folks. Well, look, I want to call this quick, really short. This is just a little supplementary because people want to know who they're talking to. They want to know where my ego comes from. I am the illustrator, right? I went to school to be an illustrator. What is the illustrator? And it's my own curse. I have cursed myself all my life, saying that I've been sent from heaven to clean up after other people's children, and that includes prime ministers, right? Believe me, I've been cleaning up after people who thought they were better than me all my life, right? And it's not going to happen, right? I tell you, I'm a perfectionist. My Venus in Virgo is absolutely one perfectionist working tool. And I am the fire goat. We are, even though we're easygoing, and we like our Googles, and we love to wander, we are absolutely perfectionists, us fire goats. Yeah? It's a true thing. It's an absolutely true thing. So look, I'll let you go. And I want you to keep in mind, right? It's your material eye. When the sun is in Capricorn, the Leo is absolutely being a service to others, right? That's what Leo is doing while the sun's in Capricorn. It's his solar sixth house. And when the time, which is ruled by Saturn, which is ruled by Capricorn, when the time and the sign on the ascendant near perfectly, it's 1340 minutes on that ascendant for this earthquake. This is the actual time, the actual place of the earthquake, right? And where does that sit with me, right? Where does it sit with me? With my Mercury being at 13 degrees 49 minutes. Come on, Father's only 9 minutes out. It is millions of miles from the sun to Earth, right? So look, guys, I'm a really nice guy. I'm not trolling anyone, not whatsoever, and I can prove these points. I have over a decade of emails from one gentleman who made it a law to practice astrology in Canada, and I was his number one protege. I have emails I can show you that says that he only talks about astrology at the level he does, because he was when I started understudying this gentleman, I was 22 years old, right? New in Canada. He told me right off the bat with my solar return chart, or he told me right off the bat with my astrological chart, that I am an Italian visiting Canada. Yeah, that's what he says I am. But being a great grand cousin of King James VI, I'm more than that. I am the Leo that wants to rule, and that will rule by each and every soul the Commonwealth of Great Britain, right? King James VI would only and expect that a Stuart from Loch Rannoch, the birthplace of three Stuart uprisings against Great Britain, to start, three Stuart uprisings. I am the Stuart, right? I am the beginning of a new line of Stuarts that ended an old line of Roberts, like Robert the Bruce, who named Banff a royal borough in Scotland. This is who I am. Being a Leo, you could hear me roar, because my chart is nothing about a guy that likes to snore, right? I am never sitting on my hands because my hands are ruled by Gemini, right? So there's no dishonest crafts in my world. There's only those who have worked to tarnish my brightful, gleaming sun, man. My brightful, gleaming sun that loves to communicate in the third house of Gemini. That's why they call me Johnny I Spy. It is Banff National Park that deemed me this name. On the Trans-Canada, the TC1, I am my great-grandfather's greatest grandson. I will be the one that writes the New Millennium Bible like King James VI before me. All the best to you, and happy holidays. There's much more to come. My charts have only begun to spin, or be spun. Because I'm the sun. Yeah. And for everyone, talk to you soon. All the best to you, and Merry Christmas. It's all about me.